Oh,
Okay. All right. We're going to start recording. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Monday night call. We have a very, very special treat tonight, and we have a lady speaking to us from the future because she lives in Japan, and she always says that. It cracks me up. But we are so grateful to have you here, Ellie Krueger. She is a presidential ranked with Zaya, which, if you're new, that is a very, very esteemed rank to have. And she's been with Zaya since December of 2017. So over 3 years. And she is a wealth of knowledge and has so much valuable insight and information. Every time I hear her, I'm like, got my pen and paper out. And I'm so excited that you're here. And she is going to talk to us tonight about mindset. And I didn't do super, I'm not even looking at the graphic, but she's got lots of things that you guys are going to need to write down. So make sure you have a pen and paper and that you have your ears open and you are ready to soak it in, because here she goes.
hi friends. I don't have a fancy mic, so I'm sorry that I sound like echoey. I live in a concrete box on a military base in Japan. Actually, I'm pretty sure my neighbor is like, "What are you doing?" Because my computer is propped up on a cardboard box right now on my kitchen table, and she's looking at me like, "What's happening?" But hi, if we have never met before, my name's Ellie Krieger. Like Amber said, I live in Japan. My family and I moved here in June of 2020. So we're coming up on 1 year living in Japan. My husband's in the Marine Corps, so we move a lot. We just had our second baby. So I have two girls. Our newest one is 6 months old, and our oldest is 4. But that lifestyle alone is what I think even made me open-minded to doing what I do now. I actually got a direct message on Instagram from Chrissy Tagger. She's my personal sponsor in this business, in December of 2017. And it went to like my other inbox. I didn't at the time check those. I don't know why I checked it that weekend, but I got a message from her. It was a cold message. Obviously, we had never met. It was a cold message being that we were strangers, but it was very warm and nice. She shared the opportunity about Zaya with me, and I went back and forth with her for like 4 days, I think, and I joined in between Christmas and New Year's. And it's just been the biggest game changer for our family. We aren't really sharing it maybe Facebook public yet, but my husband's actually leaving the Marine Corps as the result of what we've been able to build through this industry. And it's been just awesome. I have no prior experience in direct sales. And so I thought today I would just give you guys like 3 things that have helped me build a 7-figure business from home. And hopefully just sharing like, I'm a mom, I'm a spouse, I'm a military spouse, like sharing those little bits, just those tiny bits just helps you like know, like we probably connect in some way, shape, or form based on something that you might be going through, or just a season that you're in. And I will say, when I started this business, I came in hot. I came in wanting to go fast, and I came in maybe with the short game in mind. But where I'm at now is pretty different. I would say I'm much more interested in the long-term game. I don't operate as fast as I used to, and it has nothing to do with my age or my rank or my experience in this. It has everything to do with like mentally what's going on. Oh, it's not my neighbor, it's the cleaning ladies. I also have cleaning ladies, which I'm going to talk about in this talk. Just walk right on in. And so when I was chatting with Amber on Instagram, I was just sharing like 3 things that I think I'm good at. And I wrote that I feel like I'm a professional at asking for help, exhibit A. I feel like I'm really good at jumping in and just like figuring things out. And I really feel like I've mastered my mindset. And while none of these areas are perfect for me, every day I'm always, second guessing something that I'm working on or myself. But these are things that I hold like near and dear to how I operate, how I run a business, how I show up for my family, and how, me and my family even do things. So hopefully something I say isn't just for your Zaya business, it resonates with your life too. So I have some notes here, and I'll kick it off with basically like, let's see here. We'll jump in with jumping in. That seems perfect. This is something that I just firmly believe in for our industry, for life, for anything that you have a goal that you want to do. Maybe it's to run a 5K, or maybe it's to talk to somebody you've never talked to before, or maybe it's to learn how to, make a YouTube video, or learn how to paint a table. You guys, I'm not a DIYer, and I'm learning how to paint a table. I bought this table on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm just doing it. Like anything that you're working on, you can just jump in and figure it out. I'm like a huge advocate for the book Everything is Figure Outable, but I've never read it. You guys, I've never read it. I don't even know if it's good, but I love the title, and it's gotten great reviews. So I feel like it's worth it. But I feel like whatever she's talking about in that book, she's on to something, because everything is figure outable. And in this business, you can get so hung up on coming in. Oh, good. It's so good. Molly said it's good. You can get so caught up in coming in and wanting to know all the things, and wanting to know, be the expert, because of course we want to have that rapport with people, with our customers, with our network. We want to look like we know what we're doing. But most of the people who know what they're doing, or look like they know what they're doing, didn't at one point. And I think that's something to be like graceful with yourself in, is because you're going to figure it out. I remember the first time I went live, I was unboxing my starter kit. When I joined, we couldn't even pick out our sizes. So our starter kits were all different sizes. I got a white bomber jacket that was like, I don't know, 2 sizes too big. And I remember putting it on and being like, this white cheetah, whatever. I didn't even know what it was called. And like, that was the moment for me that I was like, we're just gonna, kind of jump into this thing. And I want to get better. I want to improve. I want to become the expert, but I'm not going to let that hold me back from doing the things that I know I need to do to get my business going. And to get our businesses going, we just have to get out there and start sharing our brand, sharing our products, talking to people. We're in the business of connecting. We're in the business of having conversations. We're in the business of, sharing this opportunity if somebody wants that in their lives. But you can't do that if you're holding back, waiting for all the right answers, waiting for all the right training calls, waiting for all the perfect scripts. You're never gonna take action. And I can truly say this is something we do in our regular lives too. This table, we don't know what we're doing. We literally, I think you're supposed to sand things before you paint them. Skip that step. Totally fine. My husband is full-time active duty right now, but he also is a financial coach. And when we started that business on the side, we didn't really know how we were going to run it, what we were going to do, how we were going to share about our story or message, or, his services, like how were we going to do all this? But we knew we just had to do it. Nothing looked good the first time. I think like his first call he got off of, and he was like, ooh, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to maybe convert that person into a client of mine. But the reality is like, it didn't matter. For us, the biggest thing is that we just jump in. We even try to teach this to our children. So the 6-month-old, she'll figure it out. But our 4-year-old, we always tell her, be bold and be brave. And that's our way of saying, just jump in. And we say it to her often. We just started her in ballet, and she was really nervous walking up to one of her practices. And right away, we're like, be bold and be brave. Like, we're the Kruegers. That's what we do. Like, we're bold and we're brave, and we jump in and we figure it out. We want that culture in our family, because, there's nothing cooler I don't know if you guys follow Sarah Blakely. She is the CEO of Spanx. She's like one of the first female billionaires. She had no outside funding for her company. She's incredible. Hopefully you guys like can check her out sometime. It's not network marketing, but she's amazing. I got to watch her speak live at an event in San Diego, and she said when her and her family would sit down for dinner, her dad would like go around and ask the kids, "What did you fail at today?" So rather than sitting around and saying, "What did you succeed at? What were you good at?" This family was fostering this environment that made you want to try things and fail. Failures were celebrated in this family. And ever since she said that, I'm like, wow, that feels so much like how we feel about jumping in, because it's just, you're going to learn, you're going to figure out the details. You're going to, learn the nuts and bolts. You're going to learn the strategies. You're going to learn the scripts. And worst case scenario, you fall on your face a lot and you just keep going, I'm trying not to keep like reading, but Kim is correct. She did a lot of cold calls when she started. She went door to door with a red backpack when she first got started. So that's kind of like my mentality and my encouragement to you guys about your business and your life. Like, I don't know if you guys are working on goals personally right now in your life, but this applies to that too. Like you just got to start, you just got to take action, because without it, there's nothing moving forward. You're just standing still. Another thing I want to talk about is asking for help. And I don't know why I don't know why I feel so passionate about this topic in business. I think it's because I'm a mom, I'm a military spouse, especially now living overseas. We don't have, friends or family. And I'm sure a lot of you guys live in places that aren't near people, or maybe you recently moved, like, what it's like to be in an environment where it's not comfortable. I feel like our last 4 years has just been not comfortable. We've moved once a year for the last 5 years. This will be the longest we've ever lived somewhere. And of course it's in another country during a pandemic. The timing of it all is funny, but this is the environment that I built my Zaya business in. This is the environment that I had another baby in. And it's just not always easy. And I think sometimes if you're anything like me, sometimes as women, high D on the disc profile, just driver, maybe OCD control freak. If that's you, how hard it is to ask for help. It's so hard to ask for help. But I can tell you, being somebody, I'm recovering. I think I needed to go through a program for this probably, but I have one foot on the other side of this, of learning how to say, I need help. I'm burnt out, maybe not just Zaya, just other stuff. Learning that other people are better than things at that thing than me. I think that was really empowering for me to wrap my head around. And I want to be cautious of how I talk about this, because our family wasn't always able to ask for a lot of extra help until we got our finances in order. And we didn't get our finances in order until we started realizing that the dollar earned here in our network marketing business is the same as a dollar earned out in the corporate world. And when we got our heads wrapped around that and we got our finances in order and we became a debt-free family, it really opened a lot of doors for me to say, I need some help, and I've been blessed to be a blessing. And I think that's one of the coolest thing about our channel, is that you can make money here and you can use that to bless other people when you've got your 4 walls covered. And I think that's really empowering for me. It allows my shoulders to relax a little. I don't know if any of you have gotten massages lately, but I swear they're always pushing my shoulders down. They're earrings a lot, and they'll do scalp massages. They're you have a lot of tension. I'm thank you. But learning how to ask for little things is the only way you can start doing this. And you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say, just jump in. If you've got to get your finances in order before you can maybe afford to ask for more things when it comes to help, great, get that stuff sort it out. But in the meantime, there's other ways to do things, for a mom being busy and wanting to pour time and energy into my Zaya business, having a 4-year-old who's like, Mom, look at me. Mom, you're not watching. Mom, watch me. Mom, pay attention. Mom, do this. It's like, oh, okay. So I got to learn, how can I have uninterrupted time to do my Zaya thing that I'm so passionate about? But then how do I also, do that too? And like Amy's saying here, most people love to help one another. And if you even have like a neighbor or somebody in your community that you can swap, like take turns, like if you've got a mom or a family member, I mean, maybe some of you guys have family, but sometimes you just need some help with something. I have 2 amazing women who are in here right now who help me clean my house. And even with their help, I'm still like cleaning it during the week, but it makes it a little less hard for me during the week. I have help in, what does that look like for you in a work day? Are you asking like what I do when I have help? So I don't know where she went here.
I'm here. Sorry. Well, what I mean by that is like so you obviously are having people come in and help you, but you have uninterrupted time. Like, what do you do in that uninterrupted time? Like, what does that day look like when you're like focusing on working your business? What does that look like to you?
So I don't work my business long hours. I work in the morning and at night, because for me, I'm 14 hours, well, more than that depending on what time zone you're in, I'm 13 hours ahead of the East Coast. I still operate my business East Coast time though. So if I'm doing anything related to my team, it's all East Coast time. So I'm doing it the next day, which is my morning. So my mornings and my nights are like it for me. That's the only time I'm spending on Zaya. The middle of the day, you guys are all sleeping. So it doesn't make sense for me to be glued to any device because America is sleeping. It was one of the reasons we actually volunteered here to come here, because I wanted to be present with my family. But what that looks like morning and evening is responding to messages, taking care of returns or exchanges, contacting people who are in parties about booking future events, or posting. I make sure to post once a day, either on my Instagram or in my VIP group. I'm not going live every day unless I'm usually like, if I'm wearing, like, obviously I'm wearing Zaya a lot. I'm not wearing any of it right now, but if I'm wearing Zaya, I'll try to go live maybe before a workout in my VIP group, share what I'm wearing and why. If I've recently gotten a package in of items, that's for me, I like to go live because I can just knock it out quicker. I'm really not great at writing, so I'm not going to put a lot of energy into writing because it's not my strength. For me, if I can do like Instagram stories or Facebook live videos to show an outfit, to talk about it, I'll do that. I think sometimes the misconception on social media is that you have to spend a lot of time there. Those stories anyway, which is where I spend the bulk of my time, are 15-second clips, so you're not really seeing a lot of someone's day, even if it seems like they have a lot of stories there. So that's, for me, videos I have found in my 3+ years, I'm the best at them, I'm the most comfortable with them, and I'm the most consistent with them. So for me, I just have to pick what I'm consistent with and stay in that lane and just try not to get too sidetracked with what everybody else is doing. I do loyalty rewards in my VIP group. So we're usually updating those monthly. So I have activities that I maybe do daily, some things that happen weekly, some things that happen monthly, just making sure that those people have, like, at the end of the month, a reach out for me could be, hey, you're this close to your rewards. I do it where, what about when you started? I bet things have evolved and changed. Yeah, as far as like asking for help.
No, just more like how you like run your business and like the time that you spend on it. Like if you had more, and I mean, obviously getting to presidential is not something that you just fly by and
no. I will be honest though and say, like, because I didn't have experience, really helped me, I think, because I didn't know what I was doing. I was just running. And when I started, like I said, I came in hot and I was doing a lot. And that was the season that was available for me and that I wanted. It's not the season I'm in anymore, like Amber said, but when I first started, it was still these things that I'm saying. It was still making sure I was posting once a day. It was still Instagram stories. Instagram stories has been my consistent thing since I've started. It's the thing that I'm just the best at. And I don't know why, it's just what I've chosen and I've stayed right there. But I was doing a lot of stories, a lot of try-ons. I mean, I was on the ball with sharing restocks. When I started, Wednesdays didn't have a scheduled Wednesday release. When I started, they didn't tell you when new items were coming out. So you stocked your computer for 24 hours on a Wednesday like a psycho, hitting refresh only to find out 15 minutes after products launched, they were all sold out. Like I started when the first or second launch of the hot pink capris and the emerald capris came out. And it was, I mean, the best part about it is we hardly ever had inventory. It was like the best thing because I didn't have to worry about talking about all these different products. We only had like so many and they were either sold out or they were available and it was epic. Now I'm like, I went live in a party this week and I didn't know the names of half the stuff I was wearing. I'm pretty sure I was like, here's a cool white tank top and I really like this black bra. And then the customer's like, what one was that called? I'm like, I don't know, 1 second. You know, like honestly, it was great. But when I started, it was parties, like 8 to 10 a month sometimes. I actually did Discover Zaya events for my team every Saturday when I first started. It didn't matter where I was. I remember I did it on we rented an Airbnb in the Virgin Islands for $60 a night. It was like someone's screened-in porch we were sleeping in. And I'm like doing Discover events on my phone, like every Saturday. And it was fun. It was fun in that season. Like if you're in a season that you're feeling like you want to run, you know, like that's cool. You don't have to get permission to run. If you're in a season that feels a little bit different, cool. We're in the best industry to allow ourselves to have these seasons. And I think that's what's really cool. But okay, I'm trying not to read too many questions. I want to answer them, but I want to like get to this one last thing. When it comes to asking for help, I just want to be, I always like my favorite tagline that I use for this is like, I have no shame in my asking for help game. That's what I love to say. I have no shame in my asking for help game. And when I started working out with a Peloton, we had the treadmill for a while. And one of the trainers, Jess Sims, she always says, no ego, amigo. And I love it because I feel like for me, I had to drop my ego to ask for help. That was for me. That's just me personally. Maybe you relate to that and it's not a bad thing. It's just sometimes in order to do more, we have to get some stuff off our plates. And that's where I felt like I was when it came to asking for help and being okay with it. Just allowing myself to feel supported by other people. And that actually feels really good. Now more than ever, I'm almost too good at asking for help. I have to remind myself, like, don't forget to work, Ellie. Like, don't just ask for help for everything now. But I'm sure that's a whole nother topic that I could talk about. The last thing I wanted to touch on really quick, and then I'll answer these questions, is just mindset. And that's kind of the third thing that I really believe has helped me in my personal life as a wife and a mom and as a business owner here at Zaya. And that's, for me, mindset can be a topic that gets a lot of like fluff. We're like, oh, be happy, be positive, you know, and social media doesn't really help when it comes to this. You know, you just see so many things like toxic positivity or, you know, it's okay. Like, I don't know, you just see all this stuff related to mindset. And for me, I'm just kind of like wiping all that noise away. And all I'm saying about mindset is that it's your action that you're taking daily to bridge the gap between good days and bad days, good moments and bad moments, easy moments and hard moments, life's transitions that we have. For some of us, the drive time is what I call it. when you're driving to your next thing. You know, we have a lot of these transitions in our lives. We have a lot of moments in between moments. And I feel like that is where mindset can sneak in. And it's just like working out. You know, if you want to get some sculpted biceps, you don't start with the 20 pounds. You probably start with 5 and you work up to it. So mindset, if I can encourage someone to start this part of their journey in their personal development, it's just something that you're putting between your ears that is changing your state. You know, it's changing how you're viewing your situation, your reaction. Maybe it's a podcast. You know, a lot of people want to say personal development is X, Y, and Z. For me, I just think it's something that's elevating your outlook, elevating your mood, changing your state, especially physiologically. You know, I'm sure a lot of you guys have felt, maybe not, maybe it's just me, I shouldn't make assumptions. I have felt stuck before. And I find that when I'm stuck, if I look at what am I putting in to my body, whether that's food, whether that's music, whether that's podcasts, whether that's books, maybe it's, you know, our family, we are Christian. Am I filling myself with the word? Am I getting to church? Am I surrounding myself with people who are feeding me and not the reverse? I have to look at what am I doing? And when you feel stuck, or when you feel like your mindset isn't quite where you want it to be, you just gotta unstuck yourself and you gotta move physiologically. Maybe that's going for a walk. Maybe that's, for me, I do really well with mindset work with rap. I like gangster rap. When I work out, when I run, we have a track on base that I run stairs on, I'll run the track. Like, people can be like, oh, that's not personal development, but you better believe when I come home, I am feeling some type of way. And I am a significantly different Ellie than when I don't do that. Now, it doesn't happen every day. It's not perfection. I don't believe mindset is about perfection. I don't think asking for help is about perfection. I don't think jumping in is about perfection. But I do think it's about making the choice to fill yourself with things that are going to move you forward. You know, Mike and I always talk about moving the needle forward, whether that's in your marriage, your finances, your business, your relationships with people, your health, whatever. We always want to be moving forward and taking steps forward, big or small. It doesn't matter. And for me, mindset is just something that, what can I do today to move myself forward in a way that impacts my mood, my outlook, my reaction time, my overall just well-being. And that might be different for all of you. Some of you may land on a podcast and that does it for you. Some of you may land on music. Some of you may land on exercise. Some of you may land on the foods you eat or the people you're around, but you have to be actively choosing the things that elevate your state, I believe, daily. And you can tell when you don't, you know, you can tell when you're not, and that's okay. The cool part about that I think some of us beat ourselves up because we're not perfect. We're not, you know, every day we're not, you know, doing the things that make us feel good. But the best thing that you can do for yourself is like, you have awareness around it. So when I'm having an off day, which is a lot, you guys, last night, I had my hands in my face and my hands on our kitchen, our table in the living room. And I was like, it's just too much. There's too much on my plate right now. And I was like a weeping small child to my husband. And like, he gave me a hug, he like rubbed my back. And then I watched Shark Tank and I felt better. But it happens. Like, not every day is perfect. But I think the best thing I know, for me anyway, is that when my days are off, I don't blame the world. I don't blame the people in my life. I don't blame my situation. I don't blame God. I don't blame all the external, you know, things around me. I know, hey, I can control what's going on between my 2 ears. And today just wasn't my best. And tomorrow is a new day with new grace and I can try again. And I think that's like my take on mindset is, it's just an action, or it's just a thing. It's a thing you should do every day, whatever that looks like, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I don't know. Some people might need like an hour to like woo-saw themselves before their day gets going. It doesn't matter. We're all different. We all have different schedules. We all have different races we're running. We are all in different lanes, but you got to find what works for you. If you are busy, if you are driving kids around and you're in like a crazy season, think about your transitions. Think about, and this is something Sarah Blakely talks about. Think about you're in your car, you're getting out of your car to walk into your husband, your kids, whatever's waiting on the other side of that door for you. That is a transition that can trigger you, and you can say, okay, I'm about to walk into my house with my kids and my husband. This is what I'm leaving. This is where I came from, and this is where I'm going. Mike and I, our like tagline is like, today we're pivoting, today we're choosing joy. Like nothing's going right or the way we want to out here, but we are pivoting and we are choosing joy. And like, that's what we say to ourselves before we enter into that thing. And it does change how I react and respond to what's waiting for me. So if you're super busy and you're like, I can't do podcasts, I don't have time to listen to music, I don't have time to work out, I don't have time to do all this stuff, Ellie, just use your transition times. If you're going from one room to the next and there's something scary waiting for you in the next room, maybe that's your children, that is your transition time. Just use that and just quickly remind yourself, hey, I'm walking into this thing, I'm pivoting, literally changing the direction that I'm walking, and I'm choosing joy. I don't know, that might work for you, it might not. Just create some awareness around your mindset every day. And those are kind of like my 3 things, like jump in, learn how to ask for help, give yourself grace over the things that you just need help with. And check out like your mindset. Where are you at with that? So I'm going to quickly scroll these questions here. How do you ask for help in regards to business? So I think, oh wait, hold on, let me go up more. I answered that one. Do you do Insta parties? You know, I actually have not, just despite how much I prefer Instagram. But I can tell you one thing that I've been chewing on and I've wanted to do, I think some other people might do this, is I have the Instagram name already. It's just like party.ellie, I think, I can't remember, but it's like an Instagram handle where I could create the feed to be a party and then maybe swap out things that are no longer available, I guess, or just remove them from the feed. And then I was like, you know what? I could just invite people to this profile, let them on it for like 3 to 5 days. I'd already have the videos in there. They can click through it at their leisure, size guide, whatever. And then I can pull them when it's done. I guess I could just remove them. I don't know. This is just something I've been chewing on. So maybe that'll get your wheels spinning in some regards, but I don't do them right now. I think they'd be cool. I know you can do them through messaging too. I think you can message like a handful of people. I came on late, maybe you said this, but how do you ask for help in regards to business? So my first like year and some odd months, I just went at it. I went at it and super aggressive, super not aggressive in my ways like interacting with other people. I just was like, I'm gonna hit the pavement. I like pretty sure I ignored my family for a year. I crashed and burned, you know, all the good things, all the great fun things that you could do wrong. I did those my first year. And so I finally got to a point where I was like, I need help. I need help. Like, somebody please help me. And so I did end up working with a coach who was a network marketer in a different company. And the coaching was great. It was fine. She gave me permission to ask for help, which was awesome. And then our last coaching session, she was like, why don't you hire a virtual assistant? And I was like, am I allowed to do that? She's like, what do you mean, are you allowed to do that? And I was like, well, I don't know. I don't know. I ended up hiring a virtual assistant who helped me for 5 hours a week. She helped me on Wednesdays because, believe it or not, I was dropping the ball all the time on new release day because at the time we didn't have a time. So like I was always missing it running around with Madison because she was a baby when I started. That was one example of how I asked for help. Now I ask for it in ways like I have somebody helping clean the house so my time can be spent doing things that I love to do, pouring into women. I prefer to do trainings and live videos. That is what I'm good at. I wish that's all I could do, but I still do parties and things like that. asking for help can be, it can be delegating, it can be automating. You can automate things in your business. So I use SynShare for parties. I have 2 going on right now. And the tricky part about it is sometimes I have to be like, Ellie, don't forget you have a party going on right now because it's automated. It's a little bit of work up front to set up your template, but if you have SynShare and somebody else does, I think you can share templates. So that's always helpful if you want to do something like that. So I automated some things. Sometimes help in your business is removing things. So like sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean you're trading dollars for a service from somebody else. Sometimes it's getting rid of something that's not serving your business and just on to the next thing, you know? Sometimes it's automating it, finding ways you can automate components of your business. Sometimes it's asking for actual help. That's kind of how I've asked for help in regards to my business. I do have somebody that watches the kids in the mornings. So 8 to 1 p.m. I have help 4 days a week. And that's when I can do trainings. I can do all the work stuff that I told you guys about. It's honestly the easiest for me to work in the morning because America's still up. So once you guys go to sleep, I'm kind of like, I pick my head up and I'm like, it's noon and I go to the playground for the most of the day with my child. Okay, if you could share one thing that transformed your business from a beginner rep to a 7-figure business, what would it be? Man, I did so many things wrong. Like I don't know. But I kept going. I just kept going. I have seasons, months, you guys. I'm not joking. Months where I don't recruit. I've had months where I don't have a successful party or any parties booked. But I'm still here. I still keep going. I still find ways to show up in my VIP group. I find ways to be on my social media. I find ways to be talking about it. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm just completely dropping the ball. But in my head, I'm never out of the fight. I think that's like the coolest thing my husband taught me. He's like, you're not out of the fight until you say you're out of the fight. I'm like, well, I'm not out of the fight yet. I'm still here. Like, I won't quit. I don't know what it is about quitting that just sounds like my dad would scold me or something, but like, I'm just not quitting. And that might not be like tangible advice, but like, if you want something, if you want your life to look different, if you want whatever you think network marketing can give you, you can't just stop. You just keep going. And like, sometimes it's seasons of fumbling. Sometimes it's seasons of wins. Sometimes it's seasons of losses. It might seem like everybody's winning, but they're not showing you the stumbling, the fumbling, the crappy stuff. Like, I'm not going to go on my team page and be like, hey, you guys, I've booked 0 parties and, you know, I've recruited nobody. Like, that's not motivating. You know, of course I'm going to share the wins and like how I did it, but it's not always easy. But if you're in the fight, stay in the fight. You know, you're not out till you say you are. Thank you. Perfect response. Oh, I don't know what that one was for. Total roller coaster. It is. Jenna, I don't know if you guys follow the Gold Digger podcast. Jenna Kutcher. My husband and I went to college with her, and she has this like graphic of entrepreneurship where it's like, I'm amazing, I suck, I'm awesome, this is terrible, why am I doing this? I have no idea. Like, it's just like up and down. And I mean, last night, if you would have been in our living room, you would have been like, this girl does not have it going on, you know? But today, I listened to my Kevin Gates, I ran for 20 minutes, I did Pilates for 27 minutes, and I'm good, you know? Like, it's just, but I'm here, I'm still here, I'm in the fight, I'm not out till I say I'm out. And that's like, I don't know, I feel like that's what, you just keep going despite what's happening. And I feel like those 3 things have helped me. I just keep jumping in when I'm uncomfortable. I ask for help when I don't know what I'm doing. And I try to keep between my ears pretty healthy. That's kind of all I got. Hopefully that was like some good nuggets for you.
You mentioned loyalty rewards in your group. I want to know what those are.
Yeah, hold on. I actually could maybe visually help you understand it better too. I think I have one here on my counter. Lorelai usually sends me copies of things that are going out to customers, just so I like somewhat seem like I know what I'm doing.
Because I think that's so important too. You talked about, first of all, that's so impressive. You have parties. Like that's so important, I think, to me as a leader to lead by example. And like when you have parties and then you get new people in your group, like your VIP is such an important place too that needs to be like have life, right? So like you're doing your loyalty rewards.
So every month, so what I used to do back in the day is when people would order is I'd handwrite thank yous. Well, as my business grew and my attention got spread, I was like, oh man, I'm dropping the ball on thanking people. And without my customers, I personally don't have what I need every month, you know? And so I stopped doing thank yous in the moment and I just wait till the end of the month now. And I do them all at once. So they're all batched together. They're no longer handwritten. So that went out the window. Okay. Now they're typed. Here's an example of automating something. Like I no longer handwrite it all. So every month I always change like the theme in my VIP group, like the cover photo. I just give it a fresh look. I update. I always have one post pinned to the very top that's like, welcome to May. Here's everything that's going on. It's always the same. Literally all I do is swap out the name of the month. Really easy. There's zero rocket science behind that. But then at the end of the month, we send out a thank you. So they get a little thank you that looks like this in the mail. It just says, thank you for shopping with me in February. And then the back of it just says, thank you for shopping Zaya with me. You're now part of a community bigger than leggings, even if they are magical. Our community is rooted in activity, friendship, comedy, and giving back. I love to give back. Like this month we gave back. There's a school in South Florida that kids from the inner city can go to and basically live on campus Monday through Friday. And they were in need of sheets. So every X amount of dollars, I like bought sheets for this school. So we love to do like things like that. Back to school backpacks, I know will be like a big thing. Our community is rooted in activity, friendship, comedy, and giving back. If you haven't joined the community page yet, reach out to me and ask to be added. We'd love to have you there. Included in this letter is your loyal customer punch card or rewards card. All purchases in 2021 will count towards your loyalty rewards and must be redeemed by February of 2022. Cash in a fully punched card for 25% off your next order. So they actually get this little card in the mail that says loyal customer rewards, Zaya Active Independent Rep Ellie. For every $75 spent, they get one punch. And we ordered a stupid, like, you know, those leather things that you can like punch leather with. I grew up in a log house, like in the country. So this was like a thing I did as a kid, but we bought like this little leather punch, like it's in the shape of a moon, and we just punch it out. And so at the end of every month they get like, or at the end of every month, if they ordered that month, they get their card, but behind the scenes, we're keeping track of how many punches they have. We just have an Excel sheet, not anything fancy. And then when they've, like, if they're close, we'll be like, hey, you're like $75 away. It's a great way for me to reach out to people, especially, Kristen said, it's nice to know even successful people have rough months or dud parties. Those months are when I'm like, hey, you're really close to getting a full punch card, you know, like it gives me something to talk about, because I have a lot of dud months and dud parties and just things that don't go the way you think they're gonna go. So that's my loyal customer. And I just started this in 2021. So I might keep it going if this works and it's easy and efficient, or next year I'll think of something new and I'll just jump into that and figure it out as I go. It's not perfect. I'm sure I dropped the ball. I'm sure the details are not 100%, but we do a pretty good job and they have a year to use it. Yeah.
And what's the price that they're trying to get to?
$75 gets them one punch, and there's 5 of them on here.
So they have to get 5 of set. I can't do math.
Yeah. Yeah. Not math. I don't do math either. Mike's the money finance guy. I'm the get it done girl.
Yeah. That's nice.
If they get 5 punches, then their next order, I'll give them my rep discount on the whole order. So I'll give them 25% off the whole thing. And you can kind of pick and choose how you do that. You could order it through your back office. I don't do that. What I do is I just have them place the order and I Venmo or PayPal them back the 25% because that allows me to not have to be available during checkout. Cause like, I don't want to have to be like, you guys know, if you wait for a customer to order, you're like 10 days later, we've picked out what size and what color you want. And like, that's just not where I want to put my time. Yeah, I've used my own party rewards for a free item. Yep. I've done it all, you guys, pretty much. I've probably tried it all. 80 to 90% of it probably was not great. And the things that I found that I'm good at, I've just stuck with those.
That's awesome. Lot of good information. Does anybody else we have a few more minutes left. If anybody else wants to unmute themselves or type in the chat and ask Ellie anything.
Please. Any of you guys watching American Idol? My husband just asked me who I thought was going to win. That's our favorite show. It's our only show. I'm not going to try to be like, hey guys, go jump into all these TV series. However, American Idol will catch you in your feels. You guys already know how I feel about music. I cry, I laugh. It's a great time.
Oh, that's really good advice. I loved hearing you talk tonight about jumping in. It's like, I can't think of the phrase, but it's like people will just like paralyze themselves with just like analyzing everything and then not doing anything. And it's like, how is that serving you? Like, it's better for you to jump in, make a mistake, go, wow, that sucked. Like next week, I'm not doing that again, than like not knowing.
Like I married that. I married the person who's super paralyzed and like doesn't like to do scary things and like wants to analyze it all. Like the two of us together are very interesting because I'm just like, go do it. You'll figure it out. It's going to be great. Just do it. And he's like, you haven't thought through any of the details, Ellie. And I'm like, who needs that? It's just.
Girl, I feel like we're like the same couple, me and like my husband, the same way too. But without him, like I'd be up in the clouds flying around somewhere,
Same.
Like
100%. And I would be on the side of the road with flat tires and not know what to do.
Exactly. No, you would ask for help. It would be
true. I probably would now.
You would ask for help, asking for help. And the CEO for my former company used to say, if it doesn't require your personality, to delegate it. And kind of like what you were saying in the beginning, that can be hard because delegating requires funds at times, but keep it in your head, ladies. If you get to a point where you're making a little extra money and you're able to delegate something that doesn't require your personality, it's super helpful. She used to say, like, you're doing repetitive work that is not income producing. You're cleaning the toilet does not make you money, and that time that you spend cleaning the toilet, you could have been, getting like, reaching out, connecting about the business or hosting or whatever like
and
that.
just like, this is like out there and maybe not what I should say, but outside of making money in this business, which I'm a huge fan of, my husband and I are huge on talking about money. But outside of it, I find that when I am connecting with people, if I'm not cleaning my house, I'm able to do this, and this lights me up. And that's worth it to me, and maybe right now I'm not making the $100 that I'm spending to have my house cleaned, but I feel like I can take something that's worked for me and I can serve you guys and I can show up for somebody who wants to learn and develop. And like, that's me feeling like I've been so blessed to be a blessing and I can give a gift that maybe isn't money or maybe it isn't, whatever, but like that that keeps me in the game, and that keeps me wanting to stay in the fight. And it may not be I may not be making $100 right now. I probably did make $100 right now, but you see what I'm saying?
It protects your mindset. You have to protect
Yes.
your energy and protect your, your mindset. And it's like, me and Jen started doing these calls on Monday nights, and it's like, I would love for everyone on my team to show up, and like, they don't always, but like, I can't place my power and my mindset and energy in other people's hands, right?
No.
Like, you gotta show up.
I think there's like 19,000 people in my downline, and my team calls are like 20 people. So you just keep going and you keep doing it. It does not matter. Like, I started this business doing like team calls, and they're like, what are you going to talk about? I don't know. I was like, let's just hang out. There were 3 of us. And like, those people now are my top leaders, and they could be here like 100% testimony saying, yep, we did team calls when there's just 3 of us.
So normally you have only 30. Like, we maxed out that Zoom call they must have been so disappointed when I told them how you are successful as like hosting parties and working, right?
No,
Like a total bummer.
not at all. And what I think sometimes we get this like thing where all the like top leaders on my level 1, they're like, we're going to just jump on Ellie's call. And like, sometimes there are like 100+ people. So I used to have the capability to host really big Zoom calls. But then when I was like, the majority of my calls are really small, I don't need to be paying this much for Zoom. So I just like was done with that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well,
Lisa, or Lise, I feel like I've said this. We talked about this last time. Lise, I'm so glad that you were on tonight. And I can tell you, in Japan, it's sunny, and tomorrow, I don't know how you feel about a lot of swearing and a lot of like not great words, but like Kevin Gates or Post Malone tomorrow might like really just get you going. I don't know. Or maybe like Lauren Daigle or, like Nora Jones. I don't know what your vibe is, but get some music on in the morning and just keep this goodness like rolling into tomorrow.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ellie, for taking the very precious time out of your day and sharing your wisdom with us. And thank you, everyone, for showing up. You guys are showing up for your own businesses, and for that, you should be proud. And I know that you'll be benefiting from what you heard tonight. So, with that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your month. Don't give up on it. We have one more new release day. A lot can be done if you believe it and then are willing to work to make it happen. So get after those goals, ladies. Get with your team, see where you're at, like help each other out, and go for it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ellie.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.